What's going on, y'all? Since there's not much to talk about in the sport of boxing today, or this week, or even in the past month or two, I want to discuss something about another aspect of it. And it's just going to be talking about, we're just going to be talking about like the general area of fitness and defining the difference between training and working out because that I'm kind of well versed in, believe it or not, because I've been uh practice practicing a lot of training methods over the past 10 years. Like I never went a year without doing any form of exercise, to say the least. And notice how I carefully said exercise instead of working out. And that's another reason why I want to discuss the difference between training and working out. I've been doing this for 10 years, and that's not me saying that I'm a strength and conditioning coach or anything like that, but I practice some of the methods that they give to their clients. And I see this like all over the internet. I see this not even just in the internet. I see it in the prison systems. I see it in certain gyms. Like it's a lot of knowledge that I put together in my training regimen, and then I implement it into my work. I mean, my how do you put it? My exercises. Like a lot of stuff that they did in the prisons. That's how I got really started. I didn't look up to guys that were in the gyms or anything like that because I never had time to go inside the gyms when I was in school. During my time, like as soon as I started and went inside of middle school, that's when like I started to notice that I went through like a little growth spurt, and I noticed that I was getting a lot stronger and everything like that. But it was mainly out of calisthenics and just me doing like basic weight exercises with like a adjustable dumbbell, you know what I mean? And I made a lot of improvements since then, like I've expanded upon that philosophy of training overall, like the way of getting stronger basically. Back then it was just more so about strength and calisthenics, how many push-ups you could do, how many pull-ups can you do, or what type of variation of push-ups you could do basically. That was my mentality back then, but now it's a lot more diverse than that compared to how I was thinking like 10 years ago, besides me just uh picking it up as some type of extracurricular activity just to do something around. Like I've actually used some of these regimens in my daily life, like whether I'm running in the gym or when I was like doing some type of exercises in school, like physical fitness. They go in the gym every month and get the students to do like some type of 1 hour workout, P90X, this, that, and the third. But when I started out, man, like I was just doing push ups. I remember back then when I was like in sixth grade, like in 2010, I was only able to do like 10 push ups when I first started. And I couldn't even lift a 30-pound dumbbell, not even 1 inch off the ground. But as the year went on, like I started using it more and more, the dumbbells, you know what I mean? Like I started doing a lot of consecutive curls, and I started doing a lot more push-ups, like 40, like 50 a day or something like that. And I gradually build it up like in the next 2 years. And then all of a sudden, by the time I hit my freshman year of high school, I was able to do like 120 push-ups. Yeah, no, it was actually 112, 114 push-ups, I think, consecutively. And then one time I actually did like 1,000 in a day, and it fucked my whole entire chest up. no injuries or anything like that, but it kind of stunted my growth in those type of in that area of getting bigger. You know what I mean? Like I was still conflicted on like what I was aiming for. You know what I mean? I didn't know if I wanted to get shredded. I didn't know what I wanted. I just wanted to get stronger. I wasn't looking to look the best out of everybody else. You know, but when I was a freshman, that was when like I was kind of like at the peak of my push-ups, basically a little bit. But after hitting that 1,000 push-up mark, like I had to hold off on them for a while, and I started doing the weights a lot more. You know, I started doing calisthenics basically. I started doing pull-ups. I started doing different variations of push-ups. You know, I started doing Superman push-ups. I started doing one arm push-ups, and I still do the one arm push-ups today actually. And I focus on the one arm push-ups a lot more, like how I was doing regular push-ups back when I was a middle schooler in the 8th grade. You know, like I still remember when I was barely struggling to squeeze out like 40 push-ups consecutively when I was a middle schooler, and now I'm struggling to no, like I'm barely doing like 50 with one arm push negatively as well. And the thing about the one arm push-ups, man, like I have to be careful, like you know, like with the form, and I also have to make sure that my feet are like in a certain position. That way, I could get enough leverage, and I'm able to push up. You know, and the more and more I've been doing them, the more I notice that my legs are starting to close a lot more, and I'm starting to do like a better quality of the one arm push-ups. And I think that benefits a lot more than just like the regular push-ups for me, you know, because I'm able to get a challenge out of it. And that's not saying anything to toot my own horn or anything like that, because I've been doing this for like I just said like 10 years. I got the weights like in 2009, you know, like just some little ass weights. And now I'm using already 50-pound dumbbells, 75-pound dumbbells, and 100-pound dumbbells for different variations of workouts, you know, besides just like doing like a prison type of philosophy of working out where I'm just doing repetitions throughout the entire time, you know, like when I was an 8th grader, like after I did those like consecutive 40 push-ups, and I would do like sets of 20 after until I hit like 100. I would then go into the 15-pound dumbbell pairs, and the amount that I would do was like 100 on each arm, and I wouldn't stop until I reach a certain number in my head, like the number 200, basically, where I'm just counting one, two. I lift the right arm first for the curl, and then the second arm, the left arm, for the second repetition as well. And I would do that up until 200 reps, at least 200 reps. And that would be my day for the curling. But other than that, that's where I just basically started, you know, and I would do like an arm hold. I would do like this thing where I just put my arms out kind of like a cross, and that would like work out my entire trapezius muscles basically. And I would like hold that position for like I would say 5 minutes, because like when I did that exercise, when my PE coach showed me in elementary, like I was only able to do like 30 seconds worth of that exercise along with other people, you know, that weren't really that good at working out, you know, like they didn't look at working out as some type of a activity that's their favorite activity, you know what I mean, compared to like all the other athletic guys in my class during that time. But when I was able to do that exercise, I felt a lot of uh soreness, you know what I mean? Like after that trapezius muscle workout. What's up, Black and Brown Boxing? What is up? I'm trying to figure out like how to link in the comments section while I'm live, man. Like I'm not sure how I could do that, you know what I mean? If you guys that are viewing right now know how to, like, just let me know, you know? But anyways, where was I? When I was doing like just calisthenics, man, I was getting a lot of benefits out of it. Like there's plenty of ways where you don't even have to go to like a local gym just to get stronger, you know? Just basically look up a prison workout video or prison training video, I should say, and you'll get a lot of ideas basically, and your motivation will increase, believe it or not, compared to just like looking at somebody deadlifting like 2,000 pounds, 1,000 pounds, 500 pounds, or something like that. And you'll see like the benefits of the calisthenics. And you can even still do the weight exercises, man. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're balancing that out with weight training, I mean, with calisthenics, that's still gonna make your body well adept into like doing a lot of other different types of activities, you know? Because like basically when you see somebody that's free running, man, like they're using a lot of muscles at stake, you know. They're using their forearms, they're using their legs primarily, they're using a lot of fast twitch muscles basically when they're doing those type of exercise. I mean, when they're doing those type of training regimens. And this leads me into the part where I discuss the difference between training and working out. When you're working out basically, I noticed that a lot of people say that in order to work themselves out, basically, like they get tired after a while, and then all of a sudden they're trying to get stronger, but they're working themselves out until fatigue or they break a sweater or anything like that. I've seen a lot of different philosophies on it. You know, I've seen it from people like Arnold Schwarzenegger and people like Lou Ferrigno, people like even the guys that aren't like competing in athletic competitions like Pavel. I don't know if you guys heard of him, you know, where he has like a whole different philosophy on getting stronger. Like he uses some type of system from the Soviet Union back in the day where people would do like a training regimen where they would lift the weight that they're gonna do, you know, whether it be some type of curls, some type of bench press. They would do it like for 3 reps, and the rest time would be like 15 minutes, and then they would go on to the next reps as well. But within those 15 minutes, they would have to be doing some type of a different activity, you know, just to keep the body moving. But fatigue is not necessarily what they're trying to aim for, you know. They're trying to aim for getting stronger while still maintaining that energy in order to perform the next couple of reps. But you have to make sure that the weight that you're doing is you're able to at least squeeze out 3 reps with the correct form as well, you know. And I noticed that it really does work basically, man. Like believe it or not, I did some type of variation of that when I was a sophomore in high school, you know. And when I was a sophomore in high school, I would do uh like a nonstop repetition of dumbbell presses, you know, where I'd use like 50-pound dumbbells and I would do it like for 50 reps nonstop, and then I would rest for like 30 minutes. I know it seemed like exaggeratedly long, but I noticed a big physical change in me, you know, like after I had a couple of weeks, and the rep range that I would aim for, like the capacity, the amount, the limit would be sometimes 200, sometimes 300 reps basically a day, or every time that I do chest. And then like sometimes I would take some rest days, like 2 or 3 days of the week, and that's how I would gain a lot of strength. And that same year that I came back, a lot of people noticed that I physically grew, not just from, well, yeah, just from like the frame, you know what I mean? Like I started to transition into becoming like a stocky frame guy, like how I look today, you know? like I'm a stocky frame guy basically, man, you know, where I had some type of a slender physique, you know, but as soon as I did that type of training, man, like I noticed that a lot of myself had changed, but I never understood that philosophy back then. Like I never knew that that type of training regimen existed, but I did it a lot more differently, you know, like I did it with numerous amounts of two, in contrast to what Pavel was discussing at one point, you know, and how he perceives like his philosophy of strength gaining, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of stuff, man. Like it all depends on the human body basically, where how well they can adapt to that type of stuff. Like when I see people, nah, I don't want to go into dieting too much, man. Like for example, but I'll use that as an example. Basically, I see a lot of people using the carnivore diet. I see a lot of people using the vegan diet, and both, uh, how do you say, both people of that culture, of those two cultures, basically, they are still able to gain some type of a strength from it, you know, or some type of benefits from it, I should say. Yeah, that's the correct term, benefits, where they are able to either gain some muscle or lose some weight in some type of capacity. I see both things working out for them, you know, like it all depends on your body, like, and it all depends on your heritage, your family history, and stuff like that, how long they've been eating certain foods, you know, like a certain family could be eating meat for many generations, many through many different ancestors that were like using some type of meals during the time. And all of a sudden, like if you're eating it today, what they eat, you're suddenly gaining a lot of strength because that's what your family had been eating throughout the entire generations, you know what I mean? So yeah, man, like that could work vice versa as well, like with veggies and like plants and stuff like that. But just to get to the main point, man, like anybody could get stronger in different ways besides the traditional working out, wear yourself out basically, and just like get tired all of a sudden until you fatigue. And for me, like it doesn't really matter to me as long as my caloric intake is very high, because I notice that when I eat a lot, that's when I have a lot more energy compared to like how I used to eat when I was a teenager. And ever since like I was 17, that's when I started like capitalizing on my diet a lot more. I was eating a lot more proteins. I was eating uh 3,000 calories a day, and now I'm trying to maintain that limit of that minimum of 3,000 calories a day, you know what I mean? But my real goal is to eat like 5,000 calories a day and maintain a balance of proteins, maintain a balance of carbs, and that's how I'm able like to thrive to these like training regimens, you know what I mean? And right now I actually do a lot more ballistic weight training, like somewhat ballistic weight training. And ballistic weight training is basically weights that you do almost like a hybrid of calisthenics, but with weights, you know, like you're throwing the medicine ball to the wall, or you're doing pull-ups with 50 pounds on you, 100 pound dumbbells, and you're doing like a lot of trap exercises with them for numerous amounts of repetitions. Like you're basically doing a lot of weight training and calisthenics at the same time. That's what ballistic weight training is, and that's what a lot of athletes use that system in order to gain some strength and gain some weight basically. You know, I actually heard of Evander Holyfield, the former undisputed champion at cruiserweight and heavyweight. actually implement ballistic weight training in his regimens, where he's talking about how he was trying to gain weight to move up to heavyweight. And a lot of people saw his physique, like he was like one of the fittest athletes during that time in the sport of boxing, where a lot of fighters like try to aim for, like when they're trying to move to middleweight, I mean heavyweight, man, like they're trying to maintain a certain amount of weight that they want to campaign at in order to preserve like their fast twitch muscles. And fighters like Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield always came in like between 210 to 225 pounds. Even 230 would be like a little bit too much for them because then that would take away their speed, I mean, Evander Holyfield wasn't really known to be like the fastest guy in the world, but still, man, that timing, man, that's what really mattered to him. So like he had to maintain that weight as low as possible while still maintaining a certain amount of weight to campaign at heavyweight, in order to take a lot of those shots. And as for Mike Tyson, Mike Tyson was actually naturally a 220-pound guy, 215-pound guy, sometimes even 210 pounds guy. So he didn't really need to do like a lot of vigorous training like how a lot of athletes do today because like he was already big coming in the sport of boxing. So that's what made Mike Tyson much an anomaly compared to like a lot of fighters, like in terms of being a genetic anomaly because he didn't really use weights that much besides a couple of dumbbells basically when he was training with Kevin Rooney, Teddy Atlas, and Cus de Amato. Like he didn't really use like uh traditional weight gainings or anything like that. Nah, man, he was born into heavyweight basically. So yeah, man. What up, Toby? What up? Yeah, man, I'm just discussing about training, fitness, and all of that stuff, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to discuss about dieting or anything like that because that's not too much my area, but it does play a big part in uh fitness, you know what I mean? But I'm just discussing like what the difference is between training and working out. And a lot of people haven't misconstrued that working out is basically the same as training. When training, like you're training for a different, you have a different philosophy on something, like how you're going to implement what you need to work on in certain areas. Whereas working out, you're just basically doing the usual 12 reps, let me rest for 30 seconds and then go all out up until you're fatigued. But there's a big difference between that. You know what I mean? So that's what I was discussing earlier. Black and Brown, what's up, man? I don't know, like if you heard me in the early in the stream, but yeah, man. Yeah, I was talking for like an entire 23 minutes, but it is what it is. But everything that I did, man, like I've been training since, well, I've been doing these type of exercises since I was in elementary, like at the end of elementary in 2010. And it basically changed my lifestyle and it technically got me into the sport of boxing, basically this whole idea of fitness and everything because like I was only able to do so much during my time in high school and middle school. Like I didn't have no gym or anything like that. I was just like training at home, using some weights at home. And the only thing I could look up on YouTube was basically prison workouts where I look at guys from the prison that do like different variations of push-ups, different variations of lifting whatever items are in the prison or doing some type of a weird no, I shouldn't say weird, but like a very complex position of lifting weights, like some of them would just like sit in an L position, like with their feet pointed up and then do like curls, like dumbbell curls or press ups. or shoulder presses basically. And that's how I would like basically work out. I mean, train back then. So I don't know, man. There's a lot of things that people can do like during their time in isolation. And when you're in isolation, you think a lot, man. Like you think a lot, but how are you gonna implement that energy? Like where are you gonna expand that energy upon? You might as well just train, in the meantime. You can't just like go insane and then like thinking, man. Like you gotta put that energy into something, man. You know, and I didn't have like during that time, like during a brief moment in the early 2010s, like I didn't have no cable, I didn't have no internet at times, and I was very limited on a lot of stuff. Like I didn't have any movies to watch, but the only form of entertainment that I had basically was just a pair of weights, like, and I didn't have no type diet regimen on me. I just had like some waters and uh I would only get like a $5 pizza from Little Caesars basically, man. And I would still like keep on working out from that and getting my energy in order to continue like working out. I mean, train from that. The reason like I try to retract as much as I can from saying working out is because like I never worked myself out during those times when I was trying to get stronger. I was trying to get stronger without expanding so much energy, man. Just because I'm able to squeeze out the repetitions that I want and able to basically got me started, in the first place, like the traditional 12 rep repetitions that everybody likes to throw out basically didn't work that much for me. But what I used to do, like, 50 reps, 100 reps for a certain exercise, that really benefited me in the long run. And the more repetitions you do, man, like the better your mindset, like psychologically, man, it gets you through a lot of stuff. Like it increases your patience, it increases your endurance when you do a lot of numerous amounts of repetitions. And that's how I'm able like to even run 5 miles, man, like because I'm thinking while I'm like doing all this stuff, like doing the entire nonstop repetitions, and I'm basically just holding a number in my head. I'm counting. That's all I'm doing, man. That's all I would ever do. I didn't have no music to listen to during that time either. So I didn't even listen to music actually whenever I did train until like 2016. Yeah, 2016. That's when like I would turn on the music while I train and stuff like that in order to take my mind off outside interferences, you know what I mean? So that's my philosophy on that type of stuff. Let me see if I could try to post a link in the comments section for those of you who want to come on. I appreciate you, Toby, for supporting the channel as well. I see that you've been here for quite a while as well. Let me try to see if I can copy this to the clipboard right here. Oh shit. Yeah, I had some type of a minor problem for a second, but we're still gonna keep on going no matter what. But let me see if I have already covered what I needed right here. Turning on the air in my car and all of that. So because it's very hot, it's 100 degrees outside, this Texas weather. And this kind of actually brings me back to when I would run basically when I was training at a boxing gym. during my teenage years where they would have us running around this time at 3 o'clock in the summer, and it would be 100 degrees outside, and we would have to run like half a mile or something like that before we started training in the gym. And from there on, like I started to do that a lot frequently up until at least 2018. That's when I stopped doing it because like the sun, like I noticed that like if you kept running in the sun for too long, man, like you're just gonna basically get sunburned to the freaking max. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna do more than just sap your energy. Like some people overheat, some people have heat strokes. Basically, like that's when I stopped running in the sun a lot. When I was like still in 2017, 2016, you know, like because I used to think that somehow that would make you a lot more tougher, but I was actually putting myself at risk during those times. But to counter that, I was still drinking my water a lot, you know, like I was drinking three or four water bottles before I went on a run early in the morning. Sometimes I would go early in the mornings because that's when like the sun is setting up and there's less gas like in the air, you know, like uh from those industries that are like around the town, and I'm able to breathe a lot better. And even at night, you know, like I would always go for a run at night, and then that's when like I would like start to after like I would do like the 3 to 5 mile run. That's when I started training. What up, Timmy? Nine, yeah. What up, Timmy? Just here, man, talking about fitness and all of that stuff. Not dieting, by the way. We're just talking about like weight training, talking about like the difference between working out and training as well. But if you're running for at least 3 miles, 5 miles, that's still a good thing to do. But I would prefer, like, for me, I used to do it like before I started training, like any type of exercise, the weights, anything like that. The reason I did that was because that's when like I started to burn the calories a lot more, and I was able to get myself in shape to do the workouts. Because then once I would, I mean, yeah, the exercises, once I would do the exercises after a run, that's when I'm making it a lot harder on myself. And I would usually do that in order to get through a lot of it, you know what I mean? The repetitions, everything like that. I would always go for like a 5 mile run, 3 mile run, not nonstop most of the time, but still, man, it was enough to uh, give me enough of a warm up in order to perform like most of the exercises later on and during that day. You know what I mean? Because like sometimes I would be working out like, well, training at 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 5 in the morning. It really didn't matter to me, man, because like sometimes my sleeping patterns would be real messed up, and that's something that I'm not really proud of, to be honest, man, because I used to be a night owl all the time, and I still kind of am, believe it or not. You know, like whenever I feel like training, I would just like wake up like at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then like I would end my training session up until like 7 o'clock, or sometimes even like at 10 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, 10 o'clock and um in the morning, I should say. But I would reap a lot of benefits, man, you know, like just from working out at night compared to in the day, you know, because like there's not that much distractions. Like it's just all about yourself. Like you only hear yourself thinking a lot. And that's what I don't get it with people, you know, like they see isolation as some type of disadvantage. And while I see it as some type of advantage in order to understand myself, you know, like what I need to work on, my weaknesses are, and there's a lot less distraction, believe it or not. And you know, like how to be as meticulous as possible and like what you want to implement in your training regimens. Like you could lift up a sofa for like 50 repetitions, or grab a chair, you know what I mean, and do some dips, or even lift the chair up and work out your forearms with that, you know. There's basically a lot of creative things that people can do in isolation, man. Even with just like a pair of dumbbells, 50-pound dumbbells, 30-pound dumbbells, there's a lot you can do. That's for sure. And right now, I actually have like four pairs of dumbbells, basically, man. You know, I have a pair of 35s, I have a pair of 50s, I have a pair of 75s, a pair of 10s, and a pair of hundreds. And what I would do with them, I would still like keep them around, you know, like even after I finish curling most of the time, I would like use them for other exercises, you know, like I would use them for dumbbell presses, I would use them for uh just basically a lot of calisthenics as well, you know, like I would tie them to me and then I start doing pull-ups, or I would do like those neck exercises that you see like a lot of boxers doing, you know, where they use like the head harness and tie up like some type of weight to it, you know, like a 45-pound plate. And I would use like a 60-pound ankle weights and tie it to like some type of abs. Yeah, like those ab straps where you put them on the pull up bar. I would put my head around that ab strap and then like tie the ankle weights that weigh like 60 pounds and then just start lifting them with my neck for like 60 repetitions. That's what I would try to aim for. Seems a little dangerous, man, but I don't really feel any type of a bad strain on me after doing that, you know. So it works for me, you know what I mean? Like as long as you're in control, you feel you're in control of the weight, then you should be able to pull it off, you know. Like if I'm gonna try to dumbbell press 150 pounds, I'm not gonna do that, man, because 100 pounds is my limit basically for dumbbells. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna go any higher than that. And even if I did like a couple reps with 150 pounds, I'm still not gonna do it afterwards, man. You know, because that's overdoing it, in my opinion. And I want to try to be as versatile as I can. That's why I do like a lot of repetitions. I'm not trying to do like 2 or 3 reps and then all of a sudden call it a day. You know what I mean? Or 12 reps. That's just not my thing. And it really does preserve your endurance, basically, man. Like whether you're running, as I said before, like everything that I just stated, man, like doing numerous repetitions, that's still better than for me at least, than doing a couple repetitions and then you're done for the day. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. See right here. I think I dropped the link already in case y'all want to jump on anyone that comes by. You know what I mean? This channel has been a lot very inconsistent, you know, with the activity, and I'm trying to capitalize on trying to get it active a lot more. So doing all of these streams and everything like that is really going to benefit in the long run, you know. So got to keep that consistency up. But in the meantime, I actually love spreading this knowledge of uh talking about like what my areas are. And even though I'm not a strength and conditioning coach, but I understand like where they're getting at, you know what I mean? Like everything that they teach their students and everything is just basically interesting to me, you know, like because you learn a lot. Even if like you don't agree with all of their philosophies, like you understand like where they're getting at, you know, whether it be from Arnold, whether it be from Pavel, whether it be from some type of strength and conditioning coach in boxing or MMA, you know, like you understand as long as you're able to take what you can of information from those philosophies and like you understand like what you did before in the past actually worked for you, and all of a sudden like you think of something that some part of knowledge from them that worked out for you in the past but you didn't realize it and you put it together, that's when like you really find out about yourself. And that's how I found out about myself. Basically, I don't need no gym, I don't need uh, a squat rack, I don't need some type of fancy Bowflex machine or anything like that. Just give me a pair of 50-pound dumbbells and we'll get started, you know what I mean? Just do some goblet squats, just do some dumbbell presses, or grab like find some park near you, you know, like to do some pull-up bars, or try to weld some type of pull-up bar on your porch and do some pull-ups on there. It's a lot of stuff that you can do, man. But during isolation, people just want to self-destruct, and I don't understand that. It's stupid to me because there's a lot that you can do with your body rather than just destroying yourself, man, you know. But this isolation thing, man, it's been a thing with me for like many years, you know, because like I never felt like going to the gym. The closest thing that I've been to a gym was in my high school, basically, you know, like, and I was just doing dumbbells. I wasn't doing any type of crazy squats or crazy bench presses like with 300 pounds or anything like that. The closest thing that I did was like a deadlift, you know, and as soon as I did the deadlift, that was about it. You know, like I didn't try to aim for anything too crazy, like 500 pounds, 600 pounds, or anything like that, because that's not my strong suit. My strong suit basically is just like weights, you know, like dumbbell weights. And I've been reaping the benefits off of it for many years. So I don't really need some type of crazy ass gym to do it. I mean, I actually like the gyms, you know, like how they provide a lot of resources and everything like that, but uh, for me, like I have my style of training basically, and everybody has their own. So I'm not gonna like fault anyone else for finding out their own philosophy of training. So yeah, man. Let me see right here. The title. Yeah. I'm trying to see like if I covered everything that I needed to, you know, because I've been going on for like 42 minutes. And for those of you that are going to watch the playback, try to absorb as much knowledge as you can, you know, if you want, you know. I'm not trying to force you guys like into this mindset of, oh, you have to do it this way, you have to do it that way. Nah, man, like you just have to find out about yourself, and you just have to find out what works for you. Forget about what anyone else says, man. Like you just got to find out that like the types of knowledge like that these people are delivering, you know what I mean, that you could formulate into one thing for yourself. And throughout the years, I noticed that the thing that I've been doing from the very beginning has actually been working out 90% of the time. And some of those attributes basically are kind of like homages to what some of the best strength and conditioning coaches or strength and conditioning connoisseurs on the planet have been teaching their clients, you know what I mean? So it's been working out for me, in my opinion. And it's up to you guys to find out about it because I remember watching this documentary of Bruce Lee saying that he can't really teach you the best martial art in the entire world, but he can teach you about yourself and what you need to improve on and focus on how you could find out about yourself. And that was very deep to me, you know. And I just heard that quote like a week or two ago, and it really does transcend a lot more than just like martial arts. It transcends to life as well, and I use that philosophy a lot now. Well, like I understood that philosophy from the beginning as well, but the way that Bruce Lee articulated it was very interesting to me. And I think it transcends to many cultures, even in boxing, you know, even in weight training, even in many types of sports or some type of form in life. You know what I mean? So you just have to find out about yourself, man, during this time of isolation. But let me see right here. Private. Yeah, I'm still getting used to the StreamYard thing. Y'all thought I was gonna be off in 40 in like only 5 minutes or something like that. Nope. I'm still going to go on for probably at least another 15 minutes. If you guys got any questions, then you can go ahead and drop them in the comment section. You know what I mean? Like, you guys don't have to come on live or anything like that. Uh, and for the people that are watching the replay as well, man, like, if you want to drop some questions or have anything that I said in the stream that you think is wrong or that I kind of like misinterpreted, go ahead, man, and comment. But I would like you guys to come on the next stream to understand. That way, like you could explain like your philosophy on training and stuff like that. Because I'm willing to learn, basically, man, like from a lot of you guys on here. Because I understand that my subscribers are boxing fans, and uh boxing fans, majority of them are into that fitness area. They love talking about fitness. They love talking about how fighters implement their training regimens, like the jump rope, or running 5 miles in the morning every day, 10 miles morning every day, or just some type of weight training. Not so much weight training, but a lot of calisthenics, a lot of ballistic weight training, everything like that. And as for the athletes that I looked up to in terms of like boxing, I really did like Manny Pacquiao's work ethic, the way that he was able to gain strength, where uh he was able to gain at least, he started at 112 pounds if I recall, and he moved up all the way to 147 pounds. So that's like a 35-pound weight gain, you know what I mean? So like he has a very strict diet, he eats like 5,000 calories a day, and he has to burn all of that, like running 8 miles, 10 miles, and doing a lot of cardiovascular training, you know what I mean? And a lot of weight training as well, So it's very hard to keep up with that type of balance if you're an athlete like Manny Pacquiao. That's why you could see him throwing a lot of punches more than the usual fighter, you know what I mean? Manny Pacquiao really defines what athletes are, like how phenomenal these athletes are, you know what I mean? Even Sugar Ray Robinson, like the way that he was training. I remember seeing Sugar Ray Robinson on the jump rope, and he was using a lot of variations of it. It was amazing, like I never seen that even like from a normal jump rope from a guy that does like jump roping all the time, you know what I mean? So boxers are very great athletes, but let me see right here. Oh man. Yeah, I don't want to X out of here because I still want to continue on. But yeah, man, like the whole thing about fitness and everything and isolation, it's a very important time to understand yourself. As I stated throughout the entire stream, understanding yourself will get you anywhere, man. Like even by yourself. Like if you guys are just like home alone all day, or like you're busy with your family, cooking some meals and all of that, you guys could get some type of workout in, or exercise in, I should say. In the meantime, do like 300 push-ups a day. Start out with like 100 a day, you know what I mean? And try to, even though like you're only doing regular push-ups, there's nothing wrong with trying a different push-up after like you get the required amount done that you need to do throughout the entire day. Like I used to try to do like diamond push-ups like after I did 40 push-ups nonstop during my days in I mean my days in middle school, That way like I could add some variation to my training regimen. And that's when like I really capitalized on doing various amounts of push-ups. The only one that I probably haven't tried to do was the planche push-up, where I just put my legs in the air and then start doing push-ups, you know what I mean? But I've done almost every other type of push-up, like I've done the one arm push-up, I've done the Superman push-up, I've done the diamond push-up obviously, and I've done some neutral grip push-ups, and even like some that where I just put my legs on the bench and just do some regular push-ups, you know what I mean? But in terms of like push different variations of push-ups I haven't done or tried to perform, I can't really try to perform a Aztec push-up. If you ask me, like the Aztec push-ups are very hard because it requires your entire body to work. You know what I mean? Like your abdominal muscles, your leg muscles, your upper body, everything has to go into that thing, man. And I really want to try to do Aztec push-ups, but right now I'm just focused on doing one arm push-ups up until like a certain amount that I need to do. Like if I could do 100 one arm push-ups, then I'm fine with that. But I still need to work on the form a little bit better because I don't want to like strain my shoulder or anything like that. And that's another thing too, like about the repetitions. The reason numerous amounts of repetitions are good is because like if you do like one heavy set of weights, you know, like for only 3 reps, and then all of a sudden you're just like pushing with all your might and stuff, and then in the next set, all of a sudden you're struggling and all of that, and like you're starting to feel the weight really pack on like your shoulders and everything. So you really gotta put those type of stuff on hold, you know, and do some repetitions like with a lower amount of weight. I'm not saying to use like some type of pussy ass weight, you know what I mean? Like 20 pounds with a dumbbell press and do like 50 reps or something like that. Nah, man, but you gotta try to do like some more weight, you know, do some 30-pound dumbbells, 35-pound dumbbells for numerous amounts of repetitions, and you'll get somewhere with that. Definitely get somewhere with that. But let's see right here. Damn, man, I've been going at it for like 52 minutes. 52 minutes. But the ballistic weight training, like, I tried to find some time. I'm trying to find some type of equipment that I could do it with because I've been wanting to see, like, if I could get some of those crates where people jump on, where the boxers would jump on and do like different amount of push-ups or work their leg muscles a lot with that one, and doing a lot of various amounts of calisthenics with them. You know what I mean? Trying to adjust the air. But yeah, man, like I'm also working on trying to implement like a lot more variety in terms of like an obstacle course basically where I can work on everything, you know, calisthenics, weights, ballistic weight training, and then like do it in all one repetition, you know. But it's gonna be very hard, man, because I still gotta practice how to free run and do a lot of parkour and that type of stuff, basically, man. But all that requires a lot of equipment and stuff. And maybe I should probably do a demonstration real soon, you know, on uh my daily regimens on YouTube. You know what I mean? So, but I want to try to save that for a different discussion. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens with that. But I think I'm already about to log out, guys. But I appreciate y'all. Black and Brown Boxing, Toby Barlett, Timmy Nyland, all of you guys that were coming in, as well as the viewers that uh, just wanted to see like what I was talking about or discussing. You know what I mean? Like you guys are always more than welcome to comment or watch the replay as well. So it is what it is. With that, I'm gonna try to log off right now, see what's going on for throughout the entire day, and I don't know, like probably get on some live streams later on for those of you that are what that are watching the replay right now. Maybe I'll get on some live streams and talk about some boxing, you know what I mean? But if you want to see like more content like this, just let me know. And any type of questions a little bit about your fitness regimens. But just remember guys, like I'm not a strength and conditioning coach, but I do understand somewhat like what they're getting at and how I was able to find myself in order to get stronger as well. So yeah, man. Anyways, those are my thoughts on the matter. Let me know what y'all think. I'm out.